I have about 4 or 5 years experience with the Howard Lights and about 2 years experience with the Walker razors. And we're going to take a look at both and try to tell you which one is the best. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Pilot Patriot channel. Now today we're going to be looking at two of the most popular electronic earmuffs that you can get for shooting sports and shooting activities and that kind of thing. Now most of you are probably already familiar with electronic earmuffs, but for those of you that aren't, what the electronic earmuffs are going to do different than regular shooting earmuffs is that electronic earmuffs are they're still going to muffle the loud sounds like gunshots and things like that, but they're going to amplify things like talking and stuff like that so you can hear everybody around you, but as soon as that gunshot goes off, it's going to muffle it to protect your hearing. And if you've never used electronic hearing protection before, you really have to do it. This is really a must-have for anybody that likes to do a lot of shooting. You will really be amazed when you put these things on. Not only does it still allow you to hear people talking around you and things like that, but it actually makes you hear even better. So for you hunters out there, if you really want to be able to hear those leaves crunching with that big buck walking in behind you, this is something you might want to consider taking with you when you go hunting. But anyway, guys, we're going to dive right in. Before we do that, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. Now the two that we have here are the Walker's razors and the Howard Light Impact Sports. Now these are two of the most popular, and that's for several reasons. Now these are probably going to be around the best price point you can get. They're in the $30 to $50 range, so they're super affordable for anybody to get. Now electronic hearing protection can go all the way up to $200 and $300 if you want to get really crazy fancy with it, but really these are going to be more than enough for what you need. I have about 4 or 5 years experience with the Howard Lights and about 2 years experience with the Walker razors. And we're going to take a look at both and try to tell you which one is the best. Now let's start out with the Howard Light Impact Sports. The ones I have here are camo pattern. They do come in several colors. As you can see, these are much thinner than a lot of hearing protection that you might have seen or might have used in the past. And that's really one of the biggest benefits of something like this, is so that it's nice and low profile, so you can still get a nice cheek weld with a rifle and things like that. These Impact Sports are some of the thinnest on the market. It's hard to get much thinner than that. We'll go ahead and put them on here. So you can see just how nice and compact they are, how tight they are to my head. I can easily get a cheek weld with a rifle if I need to, and it's not going to get in the way. They are pretty comfortable. The headband here does have a little bit of padding there, and obviously these ear cups have a little bit of padding on those. They have a noise reduction rating of 22, which is good. The Impact Sports have a microphone on both sides here, and that's going to just take in sound, and that's what's going to amplify in your ear. These microphones here on the sides, they do have a foam wind blocker on there, which is nice. So when it's super windy, that's going to help kind of cut down on that wind noise. These are omnidirectional microphones. What that means is you hear pretty much everything. You can't really tell what direction it's coming from, but it is going to still amplify that sound, and it does a pretty good job of that. It does have a volume dial here. That's also the on and off button. It has a nice tactile and audible click that you can hear when it clicks on and off. They also have an auxiliary import here, which is nice. You can plug in an aux cord and listen to music on the range if that's something that you're into. And there's a lot of good things about these. These are, like I said, these are one of the most popular on the market, and that's because they get the job done. These are very good earmuffs. I will say there are a few things I don't like about these. For one, this rubberized material here on the side, it's really just a visual thing. It doesn't serve any purpose that I can tell. But over time, like I said, I've had these for years. They've rode around in my truck for a long time, in the heat, in the cold, that kind of thing. And this rubberized material is now sticky. So if you touch it, like my finger actually sticks to that. And so that's just happened over time. And like I said, it's been a long time. So that's maybe one downside. It doesn't affect the functionality of it at all. It's just, you know, kind of annoying. I will say, while the headband does have some padding, it doesn't have much. Same thing with the ear cups here. They are very thin, which is good, because that's what's going to allow it to get tighter to your head, but it doesn't provide much padding there, so it's not super comfortable. It is comfortable, but if you're going to be on the range for over an hour, things like that, it could start to get uncomfortable, especially if you're wearing eye protection, and you should be. It's really going to push that into your head, so that could get uncomfortable. But otherwise, these things are great. They've been through a lot of abuse and they've held up to all of it. One other thing that I do wish it had was some way to cover this auxiliary port. If I was to drop these in the mud or on a dusty, windy day or something, some dirt could blow in there or whatever. Rainwater could get up in there and damage the electronics inside there. So I do wish there was some way to cover that auxiliary port. One other thing that I have noticed is sometimes I've noticed that when I fire off a gunshot, it does block out that sound, but its reaction time to me seems to be a touch too slow. So I feel like I still hear a little bit of that gunshot before it starts to muffle it. That may just be me, that may just be this pair, but put down in the comments below if that's something that you've experienced too with the impact sports. Overall, very good price point, and I could definitely recommend these to anybody. These are very good electronic earmuffs. Now we're going to move on here to the Walker razors. Now right off the bat, I can already tell you, and this, I know this isn't super important, but to me, the Walker razors just look better. They have a lot sleeker, cooler, more tactical look to them, which I like. These are in black. They do come in a lot of different colors, just like the Howard Lights. I do think the Walkers probably come in more colors than the Howard Lights do. And to the touch, it has a little bit of a rubberized feel to it, and I like that. It feels really soft and comfortable. As you can see here, it does have padding on the headband, just like the Howard Lights. Now the Walkers are going to have more padding, and to me they're a little bit more comfortable. The ear cups also to me are a lot softer and a lot more comfortable on your head. Now the ear cups are a little bit thicker on the Walkers than they are on the Howard Lights, which might make it stick out from your head a little bit more, but that added comfort level to me is more important, and I like that. These are super comfortable on your head. I'll go ahead and put them on, and you can see how nice and tight and compact and slim they are to your head. Now I do think the Howard Lights are a little bit slimmer, so that's one win for the Howard Lights, but still you can tell that the Walker razors are still going to be one of the most slim electronic ear protection you can get on the market, and they are very comfortable. Now the ones I have here are the Patriot versions. You can see here on the side that they have a little field of Velcro, so you can put morale patches there, and they do come with 2 American flag morale patches, which is really cool. Otherwise, they are the exact same as the regular Walker razors, and you can see here on the sides they do have those microphones on both sides, and those are omnidirectional microphones. It does have really good sound quality. The sound quality on both of these is great. I do think the Walkers can get a little louder, and when I say louder, I mean the sound that it amplifies. You can amplify it louder, which to me is a good thing. You can always, if it's too loud, you can always turn it down, turn it up to whatever volume you want. You will see here, this is the on, off, and volume. Nice rubberized button here. You do get that tactile and audible click when it turns on and off. They do have the auxiliary port here, and on these you'll see that they are covered with a rubber cap, which I like a lot. That's going to help keep any dust and dirt and water and mud and things like that from getting in there and damaging the electronics. So that is nice. That is definitely a win in the plus column for the Walkers. I also like that the auxiliary port points down, so those cables and stuff can be routed down rather than on the Howard Lights. It's going to either point out front or out back, you know, depending on which direction you wear these. Now the microphones do not have the foam wind shields on the Walkers like they do on the Howard Light. I don't really notice much wind noise at all when I'm wearing these. The noise reduction rating on the Walker razors is 23, so that's one better than the Howard Lights. They were 22. And also I don't notice that lag time with the Walkers like I do with the Howard Lights. Like I said, whenever I fire off a gunshot with the Howard Lights, Lights, I felt like there was a little bit of a delay where I could still hear some of that gunshot. I haven't heard that at all with the Walkers. Every single time I fired a gun, it completely blocks out that noise, which is great, does exactly what it's supposed to do. Now, one thing that I don't want to forget to mention here is that the Howard Lights do have an auto shut off. So if you accidentally leave them on, after a certain period of time, they will shut themselves off. The standard Walker razors do not have an auto shut off. So that is one major downside to the standard Walker razors, is that they don't have that auto shut off. Walkers has come out with a new Walker Razor Pro digital version that does have that auto shut off. If I was to buy a new set of Walker razors, I would probably get the Pro version so I could get that auto shut off. Another great thing about the Walkers is they have several different variations. Now, I know Howard Light does too, but I think Walker has more variations. As you can see here, I have the Patriot version. There's also the regular Walker razors. These other ones I have here are the Quad BTs. These are Bluetooth, so they don't have the auxiliary port. You can actually Bluetooth to your phone, which is nice. And these actually have 4 microphones that are directional. So if sound is coming from this way, these microphones are going to pick it up, and you're going to be able to tell that it's coming from that direction. Same thing, if you got sound coming from this direction, these microphones will pick it up and you'll be able to tell what direction it's coming from. So that is definitely a plus for the Bluetooth versions of the Walker razors. That is very cool. I do like to jam out when I'm on the range shooting sometimes, so it's really cool to be able to just Bluetooth to my phone like that. Walkers also has a lot of different accessories, like this nice hard carry case that I use a lot. They also have a really cool two-way radio attachment that goes onto the Walker razors, which is awesome. And I have them, and I'm planning on doing a review on it, so make sure you stick around for the review on that. Now, comparing these two, both of these are great. You can't go wrong with either one of these. I could easily recommend either one of these to you and not feel bad about it. I mean, you will be satisfied no matter which one you get. But to me, because of several things, as far as aesthetics, as far as that covered auxiliary port, a wider volume range, a little bit faster reaction time, and really, to me, most important is comfort. For those reasons, I'm going to say that the Walker razors are going to be your best bet. These actually are a little bit cheaper than the Howard Lights too. The razors come in anywhere from like 35 to 40 bucks. The Howard Lights are going to be more like 40 to 50 bucks, depending on where you find them. I will link to both of these and all the variations of them down in the description below, so you can get them for yourself. Like I said, you can't go wrong, but in my opinion, the win goes to the Walker razors. These things are just way more comfortable, and they look better, and to me, they're just all around a little bit better than the Howard Light Impact Sports. But it's up to you. I recommend trying both out. Like I said, I have both. I have several different types of hearing protection, and I use all of them still. My Howard Light kind of turned into a backup pair. I hope you've liked this video, guys. I hope it's helped you out if you've been trying to decide on some new electronic hearing protection. Hopefully this has helped you out. If you haven't yet, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. And if you want to help support the channel so we can do more videos like this, make sure you follow us on Patreon and visit pilotpatriotapparel.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and happy shooting.